to the bold analysis. What exactly is happening in Nairobi CBD? The muggings that are going on, daylight mugging, robberies. It started with some people breaking into shops during the day. It has now developed to something else. But as we ponder around that, I need to tell you this. There is one thing that William Ruto regime is going to expose. It's going to expose political hypocrisy. I remember when former President Uhuru Kenyatta formed the NMS, the then Deputy President, who is the current President, William Ruto, was against the move and said that Uhuru Kenyatta was micromanaging the city and was just taking over the city hall activities. Uhuru Kenyatta formed NMS after he realized that there were several legacy projects that were to be actualized. But the then Governor Mike Sonko was not doing enough and was not competent enough to do that. He went and picked a personnel from military body to lead the NMS. Despite of it facing a lot of criticism, even from William Ruto himself, it has now been proven that Uhuru Kenyatta was actually right. William Ruto has deliberately given military. In Siaya, there are 2 projects going on, now 3. There is stadium improvement. There is a level 6 hospital to be built. And there is something going on, I think, is it a fish pie or something? Some port, some small port in Usenge. All those are being constructed by the military. So that model, the decision, the experiment that Uhuru Kenyatta made after he realized that William Ruto and the team that was working around him by that time were not committed to accomplish his legacy projects, he went to military and he got the real men and women who could do the work for him. Back to Nairobi. Muggings are on high alert. Watch this video. Which city? This is the capital city of Nairobi. These are goons walking around with logs, with some rungus, and these are the guys robbing people in broad daylight. And you know, as this is going on, some leaders are just watching.
Anxiety has gripped Nairobi residents after a surge of violence, robberies, attacks, and intimidation in the central business district flooded social media over the past week. Kenyans have been taking to social media to share harrowing experiences at the hands of juvenile delinquents, followed, robbed in broad daylight, and in some cases threatened with knives or even harassment in shocking ways. Kimathi Street has become perilous after midnight.
Napata kuna hospitali fulani imetoka na huko inakuja inarusha masindano hapa zikiwa boxed hapa kwa ile ni it. So napata vijana machokora fulani wakipita hapa wanapata wasema wametoka pale fabu kutei. Sana kutishia na mimi nimetishiwa na.
Along Moi Avenue, pedestrians walk with heightened anxiety, unsure when or where criminals might strike. Eric Okumu, a watchman, recounts how he was mugged by the gang.
Last week Thursday, kitu saa 2 hivi, walikuja hapa kuna mama fulani anauzia mafuta ndege, walikuja hapa kuna mafuta ndege, wakaanza kuzua vurugu. Mimi nikaona wananiharibia kazi yangu, nikaenda kwa zuia. Wakaamua kunivamia, wakanipiga mpaka mkono, nikaibiwa na simu.
Hii alama unaona hii ni kisu hii. Hii kisu ilikuwa inindunge hapa hii. Mungu akasaidia ikakata hapa. Ilikuwa mambo ya last week ile nyingine. Ukijaribu kungangana unaona? Ndio hiyo kisu. Uko na vi? Uko na visu. Utafanya aje? Unapora pesa yako na simu.
street children, so walikuwa okora. So akanisimamisha. Ananiambia, "Hey, rada youth. Hiyo nini umebeba hapo?" Wakaanza kunishikashika mfuko. Jamaa mmoja akasikia simu. Nikaona hapa mambo itaharibika. Like huo jamaa akaambia Omar rafiki yake watoe kisu. Huyu mwingine akaanza kumwambia, "Ama tumpake mafi."
Another danger spot targeted by these gangs is Jogoo Road, particularly the Mbotela stretch. Poor street lighting in the area creates ideal condition for criminal activities, leaving residents and commuters vulnerable.
I saw Moses Kuria warning. I've seen a warning from Moses Kuria and Millicent Omanga that whatever is happening in Nairobi will scare away investors. I'm not seeing a reciprocal response from security agencies in the city. So is it staged? Is it something that is getting backing from some corner? And what is the objective? When MCS said enough is enough, and they were acting a move to impeach the governor, we saw Raila Odinga and William Ruto meeting the two camps, and temporarily MCS withdrew their bill. Now it emerges that during that meeting between President and UDA MCS, they agreed that there are problems, but they want those problems to be solved, and they're giving Sakaja 2 months.
Removed, he is going to spill the beans that he has been stealing the money and sharing with them. That's why they couldn't even allow the MCAs to do what constitutionally they are mandated to do. They intervened. It's what we call executive overreach, going to operate a mandate that is not within your office under the Constitution. There's only one motivation why Sakaja had to be saved. He had to be saved because the money that he has been looting is being shared here with the ones who saved him, and that's why the MCS could not be allowed to perform their duty. So let's go to the more technical one, which is that you cannot bring a solution if you don't know where the problem is. And so, because of the principles of public finance under the Act and under Chapter 12 of the Constitution, we can tell you, because of the fraud examination that we have commissioned and what we are already starting to see in the initial stages, where the looting has been happening and the schemes. So we now must conduct the fraud examination so that we take people to court. And that's why we have said in our statement that we are cooperating and working with the Office of the Auditor General.
Are you planning to incorporate EACC in that and DCI?
The reason we are not talking about DCI and the EACC is because EACC should have done this job. Why have they not done it? Why have they not jailed these people? Why have they not jailed them? So we don't want to go to those who are part of the problem. We don't want to go to those who are part of the problem. We want a solution. We don't want more prolonged court cases so that people can be bribed on the way and so on. EACC is committed to arresting police officers who collect 50 shillings on the roadside. When the edible oil scandal happened here in 2023, did you see EACC arresting any minister or any PS or any accounting officer? They don't touch the corrupt. They look for the guys down there, we call them the small fish, to fry them. So we are not going to disclose here. We are telling Kenyans that it is time for Kenyans to activate what Wakili called the Article 1 powers. And go to Article 3, it is their responsibility to defend the Constitution. So Musilale Ivi, they are friends of ours who say that unajifanya ng'ombe ukamuliwe. So Wakenya wanajifanya ng'ombe ndio wakamuliwa na wamekamuliwa sawa sawa. So stop it. You have powers under the Constitution and responsibilities under the Constitution to take charge of your own affairs. It's not the work of only Umtata and everybody to go to court to help you. You can step forward and save the country from collapsing. The final question before John comes, Nganga, the question has been asked as to what is supposed to happen after that. This is the excuse the Honorable Raila was giving, that, you know, we don't want chaos, we want service delivery. What Raila is not telling Kenyans is that they have given Sakaja one more month to loot properly, so that he can have enough money to bribe more MCAs. You cannot find a thief who has been looting for 3 years and say that please go for 1 month, change your behavior so that you start behaving well. What kind of logic is that? Which Kenyan takes that seriously? When you find a thief, the first thing you do is to arrest him before you take him to court and you recover money.
Ultimately, first I want us to listen to this video. Now let me say this. Ultimately, Sakaja will have to be removed. Sakaja will be removed not based on what us Nairobians want, which is good governance. Sakaja is going to be removed because, according to, due to a reason that some MPs are now talking, and Nairobi MPs are saying here, a group of lawmakers are saying and has urged Sakaja and members of county assembly to resolve their grievances through dialogue, rather plunge the capital into another impeachment battle. A move they warned could risk dragging Nairobi back to the era of Nairobi Metropolitan Service. You think it's just coming from nowhere? No. I looked at those who are saying it. Mathare MP Anthony Oluoch, that is a Ruto ally, but a Raila MP. Maureen Tabitha Mutinda, nominated senator. Embakasi West MP Mark Mwenje, nominated Senator Karen Nyamu. In a speech that they were allegedly praising William Ruto and Raila Odinga for intervening to the Nairobi case, they are saying that if these grievances escalate, then president will be forced to constitute, or rather to constitute a body like NMS to run the city. Now, we've actually known the truth. While Nairobi populace were looking at the impeachment, and even me, I think I analyzed and I said the impeachment was a sideshow to drag the people. But the narrative of an NMS, I now see two things. The conflict between MCAs and Governor Sakaja, it is not organic. It is a well-orchestrated conflict to achieve an objective. The current insecurity lapses in CBD, where people are mugged, is a very well staged affair to make sure that the city is put in a crisis and William Ruto takes back the city through a body like that of enemies. And this, if you listen to what these MPs are saying, this is what they're saying. History has shown us that, particularly with the impeachment of a former governor, Mike Sonko, how such actions can destabilize a county for years, Nairobi was left under the interim leadership and eventually the NMS, delaying meaningful development and disrupting service delivery. I think the leaders warned against repeating the chaos that followed the impeachment of former Governor Mike Sonko, which left Nairobi under the interim leadership and the Nairobi Metropolitan Services. First, I'm a bit interested. How are MPs so much attached to the county government? I want to believe that in the spirit of devolution, MPs should be busy oversighting the national government. And MCAs should be left to oversight the county government, the county executive. So what makes Nairobi MPs entitled to the Nairobi governor, the Nairobi county government, that they're saying, what is their interest of the country destabilized or being stabilized? This is a message that William Ruto is proposing. And it is a signal he's sending to the media. That look here, I'm coming up with a body like the NMS. That is it. And it is a move. I've for the 2 or 3 years that I think for the 3 years that I have analyzed Kenya Kwanza and President William Ruto's leadership style. He's a person who thrives in creating chaos, creating crisis, so that he can emerge as the savior of the moment. The crisis in Nairobi is not organic, and this is what I mean. Governor Sakaja is corrupt. He's milking the city. There is no doubt about that. You cannot see real transformation. You cannot see his impact in this city. There is no doubt about that. But the MCAs are not motivated by that. Their motivation with that impeachment is not based on whether Sakaja has delivered for the people or not. Now, why do you think William Ruto wants to take over Nairobi leadership? Where do you think he wants to take over Nairobi? This is a city. And there is some factors I'm seeing. Sakaja is a politician. He's a governor. This city, no governor has served 2 times. 2 terms, no governor. And I'm telling you, even Sakaja will not serve 2 terms. Whatever the case, he can't. He can't serve 2 terms. And William Ruto knows that. So he's looking for a scheme to take over the city affairs. Why? The target is the Nairobi revenue. In fact, if it would be, if it were not for the separation of powers and the drive for counties to have on-source revenue, according to the president, because Nairobi is home to diplomats, is home to the State House, to very key state installations, according to the president, even the county collections should go to e-citizen. So the first target here is the revenue flowing in the city. And maybe someone has gathered some intelligence and is realizing there is a lot of money. Why would you think it would be the interest? Because with the revenue cut, if you can cut the revenue flow on the side of the governor, then that will be a point to prove. And that is the first reason why he's targeting it. Number 2, I think there are huge infrastructure development that is coming. There was always this meaning of there is a railway project supposed to run the city, and I think some state machineries are now finding it a little bit right for them to make sure that they get a share of that. And they're looking for a way to take over. That's the point. In fact, I said it should have worried Sakaja during the protests that county askaris were escorting goons in the city. Now, when it comes to impeachment, those are some of the things that are going to be in his impeachment motion. And one thing I've learned in this country, if the president wants to impeach, president when impeach his deputy, kuimpeach governor Nairobi inamchukua dakika ngapi? Si atalipa MCS na senators na hiyo kitu itapita. And they will know that probably that will be the joy of Nairobi. And Sakaja must be very careful. His removal could be maybe even backed by Ruto and the team just to try to excite Nairobi. This point, there is more than what catches the eye. Thank you.